Welcome to this CrossYoga Relax. It's a Yin Yoga kind of a class. And this will be themed around the new year, or if you're entering into a new season in life. It's a way of closuring the year or the season that had passed and getting ready into the new season or whatever is in the future. I hope you might want to bring something to write with, your notebooks or just something, paper or something else. Some of the reflections you might want to write down to remember them or to remind yourself what you wrote down. I was speaking in English, but I will translate the questions in Danish, so they'll be here at the front. So you'll be able to follow along also if you're not that sure with the English language. Let's just sit for a while. Feel the breath. Maybe you take one hand on your belly and another on the chest. Close your eyes. And breathe. Almost try to see if you can make your belly and your hand move as far out as possible when you inhale and your chest lifts. And as you exhale, it all sinks back. Relax your shoulders, relax your face. If your arms get tired, you can just let your arms reach down on your thighs or knees. And if you want, you are welcome to pray with me. God, I welcome your thoughts, your love, and everything you are to enlighten my life. Help me to go deep. Surrender the year that has, or the season that has passed. And give you the future, the years, or the year, the season ahead. We will slowly move into the first pose. And if you're not really sure about what Yin Yoga is, it's a very slow practice, meaning we are up to 3 minutes in each pose. The first pose we'll move into is lizard pose. So let's move around on our mats. If you don't happen to have a double mat as I have here, maybe you use a blanket. If you have blocks, maybe you want to bring them along. Take your right leg to the top or the front end of the mat. Make sure your knee and ankle are stacked above each other. Take your arms, shoulders, and the inside of your knee. And the left knee moves as far back on the mat as possible. Let your hips sink towards the mat so you feel a stretch on your hamstrings and maybe on your hip flexor on your left side. Either stay on your hands or come down on blocks with 1, 2 elbows, whatever works. Don't go as so deep that you feel like you can't breathe. And then we'll stay here for 3 minutes. And we will think back to begin with on the year 2020. Just think back, January 2020 and the winter, spring, summertime. Just think back what happened, what you felt. What were some of the hardest times in 2020 or the last season? How did you get through all the hard times? What helped you? One last breath. And let's move out of this pose. Taking your time. Maybe you move back. Oh, you can definitely be sore from stretching. So maybe move back. Bend the hip flexor there. Come back on all fours. Maybe do movement that feels good in your body. And of course, we will move to the other side as well. So this time, left leg. And now if you feel it in your knee, make sure to fold your mat if you don't have a blanket or pillow or something. And as I will be asking questions in your stretches, make sure you don't go that deep that you can't concentrate on thinking, unless that's your goal with this class, that you don't want to focus on the theming, more on just stretching. That's of course completely up to you. But again, lizard pose, left leg to the front, right knee to the back, and of course you're able to move a little bit when you're here. It doesn't have to be exactly the same spot the whole time. And also accept left and right differences. And again, 3 minutes here has started. Deep breaths. And come then to think back of things that happened the last season that you're grateful for. Maybe new doors opened for you, new opportunities. Renewed relationships. Maybe surprising, beautiful experiences popped out where you didn't expect them. And stay focused both on your breath and your question, just the last few moments. All right, release of this pose. Again, move in whatever way makes sense. So these were deep hip stretches, really good if you're used to sitting a lot, even running. Probably feel those stretches a whole lot. Let's just take a moment in child's pose. That will not be 3 minutes, that will just be kind of resting, resetting. Let your heels and glutes reach towards each other. Forehead on the ground, or as I have, stacked my hands here. Okay. If you don't happen to have blocks, you can definitely just use a rolled blanket or a pillow or something. I would even think that this might be better than blocks. We are gonna lay back or lay on our backs and do a little bit of a back bend with the support of our blocks. Now make sure you don't feel cold. You can see that I have extra clothes on so I don't get cold. You take whatever you have underneath here, your lower back. Actually, I'll try to fold my mat instead. I think that's a better option for me. Underneath your lower back, and then you lay down on it like you are in resting pose. Doesn't have to be a huge fold there. I don't have a huge fold. A little bit of support. Take your hands out to the side. And rest, eyes closed. This is one of the more comfortable yin yoga poses. And as we rest here, what is one value or one thing that you want to bring from 2020 or the last season into the new season? It can be something that you have learned. Or it can be more of a thing that you feel like God is teaching you during these times. If you can't come up with an answer, just ask God to reveal an answer to you as you rest here. And if nothing still comes to mind, just rest with that. Maybe it will arrive later. Take a big inhale and breathe out through your mouth. Gently open up your eyes. Roll off your block or whatever you have, if you can, by rolling to the side. From the side, you come into a seated pose on the mat. The next two poses we'll be doing in a seated position. So if you want to feel comfortable, maybe you put blocks underneath your sitting bones. Make sure your spine is tall, and then we'll move into a neck stretch. Right arm moves up and take a hold of your left side of your head, never pulling, just a little bit of weight. If this is too hard, don't use your hand at all. Now your left arm can reach down or even behind you to deepen the stretch. We will not be seated here for 3 minutes, as I think this is too hard on our neck. It's a lot of things going on, soft tissues here. But close your eyes and sit tall and as comfortable as you can. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. looking a bit more forward to the new season. What are your hopes? Some would call it visions, or maybe just dreams for 2021. If there were no COVID and the sky is the limit, what would be your dreams, your goals for the next season? As you still reflect on that, let your chin moves a little bit further down, so kind of smelling underneath your armpit here, looking down. And let go. As I'm asking these questions, and this is how it works with me, I feel like I'm always in dialogue with God, just thinking and then asking, so God, what do you think? So maybe that works for you as well. If you're not that familiar with the Christian faith, maybe just have those antennas out, listening, the intuition side of it all. All right, let's move to the other side. So before I ask, so maybe I should just explain this pose again. Tilt your head, this time to the left side, left arm up. Probably feel it all the way from your neck to the top of your shoulder girdle. Again, make sure you don't lean back and round your back. Sit tall, engage your abs. So what would be some of the things in the next season that you really wished for, or wish for, dream for, that you might be afraid to do? And remember to pause the video here and write things down on the paper if you like. And I think we all have those dreams or ideas that we know we want, but we also know it's never going to happen. Like the thing with losing 10, 20 pounds, we want to, but we just know it's never going to happen. Maybe you know what I'm talking about. But let's just review that again, saying, so what is your excuse for not doing it? Applying for a new job, moving, whatever God is calling you into, what is actually the reason, and is it an excuse, or is it a God-given reason? As you ponder upon that, let your head move a little bit further down, so the stretch moves a bit further back on your neck. So God, help us know if the things that we're afraid of doing, if they are just the reasons why we don't do it are bad excuses or it's God-given reasons. All right. Move your head up. Do whatever neck movement that feels good. All right. We are gonna come down on our mats in a more resting pose. That will be a spinal twist. So move down all the way. Now, if you have a favorite way of doing your spinal twist, go ahead and do that. But if not, your right leg is stretched out. Your left neck is bended and take your foot underneath the knee joint there. And then you move your left leg, cross it on top of the right and move out to the side. Now my hips are stacked above each other. With my right hand, I'll hold the left leg to kind of pull it down, to twist it. And the left arm moves out to the side. If you can't reach the floor, support yourself with blocks or whatever helps you. Nose up towards the sky and close your eyes. Relax your body and your breath. And as we are stretching our lower backs, and resting somewhat here, I'll invite you to surrender all the things that you feel like are yours. Sometimes we hold on so tight to things, family, jobs, houses, whatever, because we're so afraid of losing it. But by surrendering it to God's loving hands, giving it up, we will receive it again. At least most of it, I believe. But in a completely other way. So I'll invite you to mention things as a prayer or what works for you. Things that you feel like are yours or the most important things in your life. right. Open your eyes and move back. Resting on your back. If it feels good to hug your knees, make sure your lower back is on the mat. Do that. And let go. Exactly the same stretch on the other side. You are more than welcome to move on your mats, so you're not like when you roll on to the side that you don't roll all the way out of your mat. Extend your left leg, right knee bended, hooking the foot underneath there. Roll onto the side. And again, holding the bended knee there, making space. Right arm up to the side. And maybe you already encountered this in the question I asked you before with surrender. At least that's where my thoughts and prayer went. It went to what I fear, surrendering my fears for 2021. The fear of COVID going on forever, or the fear of something happening to my family or my body. Surrender your fears, also the fears that are holding you back from maybe making larger life-changing decisions. And remember, God, He knows. I sense that God is saying, my child, I know you. I know your fears. Give it to me, and I can release it. Still resting here, inhale and sigh it out through your mouth and let go of that fear. God knows. And then let go of this stretch. Again, come back. If you have a blanket, you might want to grab that. And even hugging your knees again to stretch your lower back in another direction. If you still have your pillow or even 2 blankets or blocks, you can choose to open up your chest in resting pose. So maybe you know this, but you place, if you have a block, 1 block here in beneath, in by your shoulder blades, and the other one can be kind of a pillow for your head. If you have a blanket, just roll it, not too hard, and put it like a sausage here on the long end of your mat, supporting your spine. And make sure that it's underneath your shoulder blades and not your lumbar spine. And take your time to get the stuff placed the right place. And let your arms reach out to the side, palms facing up. And of course, if this is too hard in any way, stay here for a few seconds and then roll out. Just come down on the back without this supporting equipment. Close your eyes and we'll stay here for 5 minutes. Again, focus on your breath. In Jeremiah, the Old Testament, 29:11, there's a verse there that you might know. The NIV version says, God speaking to us, "For I know what plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you, not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future." I repeat. For I know, God knows what plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. And notice what this verse just does not say. It does not say, I give you whatever you want, whatever you ask for. No, it's all about God. God's plans. To give you hope and a future. Whatever that future might be like. And listen for the message version of this. I know what I'm doing. I have it all planned out. Plans to take care of you. And maybe you can picture yourself stepping into or onto these promises. Nobody knows what the future looks like. But as I take a step into the next season in my life, I take it in faith that God has plans. And He knows what is best. I will slowly finish off this video. Please stay down on your mat if you like. If you're ready to move, begin with the slow movements and fingers and toes. If you still have supported material underneath you, roll out to the side and then sit up when you're ready, but don't hurry. And write stuff down in your journal. And take your time entering into this season with peace in mind. God is here. From my heart to your heart, I pray God's blessings, love, health, peace to the season and the new year ahead. Thank you so much for watching and sharing this video.